Going live. Where's the red button? There's usually a red light up there that says it is. No, because up here, they moved it.
Okay.
So it's saying live.
There you go. Join me in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. If you've not signed the roster and you wish to, now would be a good time to do that. I think you guys are pretty well all trained up, so we may not have to worry about that. I see we're all present and town reports at Mr. Martin, so we'll proceed on at this point, and here he comes now. So at this point, I'll accept any agenda modifications for the meeting. The hearing. Nobody's got anything? Great.
For the building inspector, you can eliminate that, no one has to go through that.
No, Shelley, I asked it. Shelley.
Okay. All right. Okay, at this point, we'll move on to approve the minutes from the July 20th council meeting. Anybody have any corrections they would like to throw out there?
I'd make a motion to approve the July 20th meeting minutes.
Great. Yeah, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Reed.
Oh, right, which one? Reed?
Reed didn't bring his tardy stuff, so
That's true. I was a little late.
he needed a note from
That's
the
true.
hall monitor, okay?
I'll stand correct.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Good, thank you. Public comments from the audience. Anybody have anything before I won't lay down the rules if nobody's got anything at this point? Perfect. Community group updates. You seem to be swinging through this thing. Unfinished business. Trees in the cemetery. Okay, so I was up there a couple times over the last week or 10 days. He is working away. He has not taken down the big one yet, but he's working away. He finished today. He took it. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, good. So
Who did it?
Andy did. It's so nice to have a guy
He's very good.
that you trust
Yeah.
in town. I mean, that
Knows what he's doing.
yeah, and it's just, I know we gotta do bids and all this kind of stuff, but I love keeping it in town, so.
Now, did they include the stumps, or do we have to do a second round to get those out?
I haven't been back up there to see exactly. We're thinking maybe there'd be a headstone for somebody, we could carve into it.
Oh,
We haven't quite figured that all out yet.
Okay.
I should have sent him, but he sent us pictures. I guess I should have forwarded that to you guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're gonna go down to B, which is the negotiations report union. What do we got, B?
A couple of things. We've been working back and forth with Tony, and we sent him we received a copy of the contract we thought was accurate and what we wanted. And we were under the impression that had gone to the union. Apparently he has some concerns about it. So he had made some corrections. We reviewed it, particularly Shelley did, and found a number of, not errors, but
just some small typos that need to.
typos and some clarifications. So that was sent back to him. He's gonna incorporate that, and once that's done and we see it quickly, and we said quickly, then yet again, that copy goes to the union. We thought that was a done deal, but we've been assured that we hope we'll get it this week, and then we can get it to the union. We don't have a lot of control over that. As soon as it's ready, it'll go to them, but so that's where we are. So we're working on it. We've made corrections. He's got it. As soon as he's got it together, it'll go to the union, and we hope we'll get a response.
Here,
There we are.
you said we don't have a lot of control over that, which was what?
We don't have a lot of control over when they'll return it back to us in a couple of days or when. We've been back and forth, but it just takes a certain amount of time. We don't have a lot of control over the time frame, not the content.
Okay, how quick he returns stuff and stuff like that?
Yeah, and we wish it was quicker. but it
It's been a
hasn't been.
month.
So that's the problem.
Right.
It's not the content. We are clearly on top of that. And, but we are frustrated with the turnaround, and we're pressing him on that. He knows it, and he knows that we're anxious to get it done. That's what we're doing.
Okay. And just keep going on. Do we know where we're at on our bill? Are we still under budget with,
My impressions are still in the budget. We haven't seen an updated one. I'm not sure, he's been giving us a deal. I'm not sure what this delay is done, timeframe wise, his staff wise. We hope to find it this week. Where we are budget wise, and that is a good question. Budget wise, we hope we'll get the turnaround all at the same time, know what the budget is and the turnaround. And as soon as we know, everybody else will know.
okay. Okay, I guess we get what we get. All right. Ma'am, financial policy, you're gonna present this again to
So,
us.
yeah, well, so I gave you the last one that has the highlighted items that we were going to talk about, and then the updated copy of the financial policy is here with this today's date on it.
Yours is last.
Um,
That's right. We're pretty close to same.
So the things that were highlighted before, I don't know if you want me to go over those, the ones that we talked about before, what would you like me to do?
I think we were at section 5, so I felt
Want
like
to
we
start with
covered
section
section
5, yeah.
4 pretty well.
Okay, and I made the changes that we talked about on section 4, so, I'm sorry. Okay, section 5 starts on page 15.
Do you know why we have this, Eric?
Because my understanding is there was an auditor,
There you go. It just,
typically financial policies is, yeah.
So, just so you know, above, on page 14, I left the process of addition or deletion small assets may be followed. I left that because I did not have time to look at to see if we had a resolution. I know that we have set limits for small assets, and we have to do that for the auditor, but I don't know if we have a resolution. I did not have time to do it. I worked on this yesterday, so, that will still need to be changed, and that's why it's still yellow on the new copy. So then, I know there's going to be a discussion about this, but I change the purchases of supplies, materials, and equipment. If you look at the other one, it said up to $499 for the mayor, $500 to $5,000 for the city council. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna argue with anybody, but currently we go to 5,000. If it's over 5,000, it has to come to council. So if you feel uncomfortable with that, if you'd like to do something different, I know that, like, for instance, we just ordered chemical for the sewer plant. It was $4,800. We ordered chemical for the water system. It was $1,800. I mean, those kind of things. I don't know how we're gonna handle that, because if we had to wait clear till the next meeting, it would make it harder to keep things rolling along. So, I don't know. You guys, it's up to
Did
you.
he just wait till it got down to basically nothing before he had to order anything?
I don't know.
we're on,
It's not just that, though. I mean, there's a lot of things that are over $1,000 that we get. I could give you a list if we want to. I don't know what you want to do.
Couple of things. First of all, we've established the precedence at $5,000. Whether it's written or not, I don't know. And so the other thing is, if we have a piece of equipment go down and we need to repair it in a really reasonably quick time frame, and it's $3,000, $4,000, whatever $1,000, we can't vote on that in a special meeting. We have to wait till our next scheduled meeting. So that piece of equipment could sit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month before we can fix it because the council wants to approve it. $5,000, we have to have some trust in the people who work for us. And I see nothing wrong with $5,000. I mean, in this day and age, how how much does it cost to change a tire on the loader, the rear tires? Do we have to come back to the council to get permission to fix that tire?
The backhoe was like $1,300.
So then the backhoe's out of service until the council meets at a regular meeting to approve it.
But why do you have to go to, you can get permission earlier than a council man.
Well, that's not what this says though.
Hmm?
This is requiring council approval. That's what I'm saying, $5,000 is not unreasonable. That's an amount of money that fits in with everything else today. And with mayor's oversight, city clerk's oversight, I don't think we have an issue. But that's me.
I think that if a lot of our purchases are, if that's the history of it, Rockford, I don't know what the population is, but I mean, they work with smaller amounts. And so, I think there is some wisdom in having that control, but on the other hand, and also I'll say on page, well, depending on which one you're looking at, one of these was run off back to back and one of these wasn't. So on page 20 of the, on one of them, anyway, there is under section E, there's an emergency purchases clause in there. So there is a way to, if there's an emergency thing or whatever the amount. So let's say it's over 5,000, let's say it's $8,000 and it is an emergency. There is a provision in here to take care of that. So the only thing I would think, if there's something, a new situation that comes up, and it might seem pressing, but if it's an unusual expenditure, I think that it should come to the council unless it's really pressing. And I think just because it's like on sale and we'd like to have it, that might not be a good reason to go ahead and purchase something. So, and I've appreciated, there's been times where Stephen has come and said, I'm within our budget, but I just want to let you know this is what we want to do.
Right.
And I think if we continue to do that, I think that's a good practice.
And the state has looked, to me, this is where some of the biggest problems are, is when people spend a lot and they don't get caught and everything else. But I just think 5,000 is just a little bit too high.
So the other suggestion I had, and just once again, if we had two people on a financial committee that you guys selected, and we were able to call them if it was over a certain threshold, like 1,000 or 2,000 or something, and just to get your approval, and then they could make a decision. It just scares me that, I don't know what.
The only problem with that, Kingdom, might be in open public meetings.
That they can't,
Issue if they're making,
up to a budget committee do that.
right, if you had a committee making you have to think about it, but just because if you're still trying to get approval, it seems like it should be done. Yeah.
She's nicer than me. I was gonna have the council member come down every day at 8 o'clock and ask for what we needed that day. And if
Well,
there's
the
nothing,
thing
then
is-
there's nothing.
We're in charge of the council, whether it's us or in the future, whatever. The council's in charge of the money. And I think it's just 5,000 is a little too much.
Have we had any instances where that's been abused?
Not here.
So why would we change it?
Well, I would just say maybe that we're not aware of. I just feel like there's been a lot of times where we really weren't aware of things. And
What did you say, I'm sorry?
we weren't really necessarily aware of things. And I guess, Mike, I'm feeling the tension of, we've had to spend a lot of money this year with the flooding and all these different things. We're coming up on the sewer plant and we're being asked to be really careful of our spending. And and we're not all going to be here in the future. So are we setting up a protocol and policy that's easy to pass on? So personally, I think we could try it at this, and it forces all of us to be watchful. And then if we do have concerns and stuff, we change it.
Question, what amounts has there been requested in this happening that how much would that, does it come up to above 5,000, or up to 5,000 commonly? I mean, is it 5,000 or less? How often, what's the threshold? Is it like 2,000, 2,500, Roy? What would be
Well, usually anything that hits in the neighborhood of 25 to 3 on Stephen always, comes to me, and we always try to talk, and I look at Kenda and say, okay, what's the budget look like, and where are we at, and what are we doing this for, and okay, we're used to buying chlorine. They're on if I remember right, they are coming down and filling our chlorine at the plants, right? We don't pick it up anymore, correct? I believe they're on a field service. That's why the numbers get a little bit higher, because they only come down when there's a bunch of gallons to pump. Okay, so that five. Interesting enough, over the last couple of weeks, when I've mentioned this amount to somebody, it was quite humorous because it got quite a bit of laughter about it. I believe I talked to the people from Bonnie Lake, and I think their number's 100,000 that they can approve without, the mayor can approve without council approval.
But what's their yearly budget?
Well, they're,
How many dollars?
I agree it's significant, but I mean, you got me at $500. We can't even put a set of tires on
Okay,
it.
so this was presented to us
I
as
agree.
Robert's time, so we're
I
just
know.
trying to discuss through.
And we were taking this as a template, as an idea to try to structure things around this. Doesn't mean we can't change them, right? We've already changed stuff in here.
Right.
And to me, the $5,000 number makes a lot of sense. It's an easy number to work with. It's an easy number to keep track of. And Stephen, in the event that if I happen to not be here, or if things get a little bit crazy, he can always, we can always talk to you guys. But like, I hadn't even thought about the serial meeting type of thing. Normally, a lot of things that with bigger communities go through a city manager, and he does the approval. And I think as long as we, when we have an issue, I look at Kenda, says, are we in the budget? Is this a normal expense? Yes, we've always done this. So go ahead, we've got the money. Let's go ahead and get him going, and then it gets it coming.
It seems to me like usually the things that are over $1,000, other than the chemical that I just mentioned, are usually repairs. Something that happens that's, a bigger expense.
A motor on a pump go out.
Yeah, it's like that.
Right.
And that was what, 4,000 something?
Yeah, it was just short of
But that would be under 20, where if there's an emergency, like a pump or whatever, then fine, you make that decision for that. Because it's an emergency, you gotta have it. But just to open a checking account, the state has asked the council committees and everything, that you need to watch what you're doing.
Mhm.
That's my only thing.
Not denying that at all.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. And it's not a question of trust to the mayor or the clerk, of course not. And everybody's done a great job. But myself and other council members have a discomfort with that amount. So it's not a question of should it be done, it's a question of how much we're talking about. What, and then, so the question really is, what level should there be that would meet your need before a council meeting, so you're not delayed? And also, to meet the comfort level for the council as far as guidelines controlling the finances. I don't know what that is. Is that 2,500? How is it 3,000? I mean, what's Garfield? Where's Garfield on this? You have any idea what they're saying?
I'm not sure.
So
The workers have to report everything to the mayor, and then like the city council votes on it. They just can't go out and buy things. For one thing, the personnel down there has drifted through so many times.
Yeah.
And so they're down to zero. But the thing is you're right, $2,500 would be a fair thing.
Can I make a suggestion? So I started going through and listing all of the big ticket items that we bought this year, but maybe I should go back and look at last year just to give you guys an idea, and we could decide on it at the September meeting. If you want to do that, just so you have an idea of what the normal things are that we have the big ticket items on.
I mean, for instance, if they're in this scope of what you're presenting, if they've already been, if we've done it in the past, should there be a blanket approval for that stuff already?
Well, that's the other thing that we could do, I guess, is just like chlorine would have a blanket, things that are like just, maintenance items would have a blanket approval maybe, and then different if it's something we're purchasing, you know, like new outfits for me, no.
I think that's a good idea, because those things, and then, but give a blanket check. I don't know, I feel.
Well, I don't ever feel like I've got a blank check.
No, we don't have a
No,
blank amount for our budget.
No, we don't, no, there is no budget item for blank checks. But, I mean, I just, my number is still 5, and I think that's a fair number. I think that keeps us, and you guys see all the check vouchers. We're a month away from you guys looking at anything I approve or not approve, and I think that's a fair number.
I mean, like, I know Steven's brought up a couple of things that he would like to have or that thinks that he needs to have, and I said, well, that'd be better on next year's budget. We need to wait. So, I mean, it isn't like we're not looking at it and trying to make sure that we're not overspending, and so.
What's the difference between on page 17, what public works contract compared to what we're talking about now?
That's like like when you go out to bid, like for a public works,
That says 5.
these are items, these are purchase items.
Right.
Supplies, materials, and equipment, and then on, public works contracts or like the TIV projects we're doing.
And then you have the professional service contracts on page 19 or 20, depending on which one you're looking at. Those still are 0 and 500, and because those are contracts.
Yeah.
Because the
Right,
council
that
has
would
to
come
approve
before the
contracts.
council for sure.
Yeah.
Like Andy's tree trim.
Yeah.
Okay, we got up in that frame, that's where it is.
I'm good with, I think I could lean that direction, but I think it'd be great just to see that list.
Yeah.
I can do that.
And then can we use over it just one more
Yeah.
month and then just get it a done deal next in September?
So I'll send that to you hopefully ahead of time. That's my plan, that was my plan this time, but, and then you guys can look over it and see kind of what.
You guys keep track of your papers. We're going through
Yeah.
way too much print.
Yeah.
Or if you don't feel comfortable taking it home,
Leave
leave
it
it with
here.
me. I'll save it
Yeah.
for you for next time.
Yeah. Can I suggest that become
Huh?
a habit?
Just
And anytime we're dealing with something that ongoing, can we just make that a practice?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Here and-
Or just stick them in your
Stick them in,
folders and
keep
then
it
I
Yeah,
can
put
pull
them in
them
your
out for you.
folder, because
Yeah.
they're not safe after.
Hey, Kendra, one question, because it talks about purchases of $15,000 and above, we go to formal competitive steel
What page
bids.
you on?
15 on mine, this is dated.
They're all the same. Okay. Okay.
I could be mistaken on this, but I want to say that it used to be formal steel bids for purchases of supplies, equipment, and materials were, it used to be $5,000 is what steel bids, but I want to say they raised it to 40,000.
Also, it might need to be 40,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would like to double check that, because I don't think you should call for a competitive steel bids if you don't have to.
Okay. That's a good reason, we check on that. See.
And I was very disappointed we were going out to bid for something, and I looked at the MRSC roster, and there was nothing in our area that we could even use, so. I don't know.
So what do you do?
For
in that
equipment?
situation?
So then you just call for bids. I just called 3 different contractors. Or get prices like on 3 different items, you know, if it's an item that we're purchasing, which that's legal to do. Because it says right here in the event, sufficient qualified vendors from out of the city's roster of vendors. Oh, it says formal competitive bids, but that's over 5,000. It was under 5,000, but we still try to get prices from people to make sure we're getting the best price.
Okay.
I mean, on pencils, but you know. The other thing. Do you want to look at this, or do you have any questions on the rest of this, or?
The only comment, just so I can make the point without hurting anybody's feelings. I understand the need for budgetary levels, 2,500, 5,000. We're trapped between that need and the state leaning on the council of parts, being responsible for budget spend, for money being spent. And they warn us about all kinds of problems across the state that happen, and they're telling us, you need to be vigilant, period. They tell us that all the time. That isn't even a problem here. So we're trapped between that responsibility and what they're telling us. That's our problem, so I'll be interested to see what levels you send us.
Okay,
That'd
okay,
be great.
yep.
All right.
So, two things real quick. One is, as I read through there, I love that we have this all in writing in one place. As we worked on our ethics, policy last year or the year before, so there's a lot in here that's compatible, just reiterates pretty much the same things. So that's nice to have that consistency and all in one place. And then on page 32, you have something highlighted in yellow there, procedure of addition and deletion of assets. Was that something that you wanted to point to us?
The same thing with that resolution. Have to look it up and see if we have that, and if not, either create a resolution or, cause it was the same thing about the small and attractive assets. So I need to look it up. I just didn't have a chance, so I just sent it out with what was highlighted. So I'll look that up. I know that we've done that before, I just don't know, I don't know if we did it by resolution or ordinance, how we did it in the past.
You wanna take my copy home and leave it?
Oh, he's dying to, oh, I'm
Hey, so how do I answer that? There's no good answer.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to put all of that.
This is a lot of work, and I know it's a lot of work.
It was fine.
All she had to do was hit copy.
Yeah.
You just, the trucks were backing up with paper and.
It's kind of what I was thinking.
But I'll make our next audit nice, because
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
asking for us, and they said, right, we didn't have to do it immediately, but we did,
Yeah.
and so that's nice. that we'll
Well,
have
and I felt, I mean, and then the other thing, I gave you a list of other things that they asked for, so we'll go over that too.
Okay, building inspector fees, I see we put that off for,
that. No, so we're talking about two different things, Dave and I just wanted to, Dave was talking about whether or not we wanted to go with the guy from Rosalia or whatever, so I just want to clarify a few things. Is, one, I want to know who is our building inspector, or do we have one, do we have two, do we have three? And we talked before about restructuring the fees, and I think we should restructure it so that we're paying them when they go out and do it. So, and I don't know, Kenny, you were going to give me some numbers. Okay, well, I guess next time then.
So what do you want?
I want numbers like you said, Rockford or Fairfield or somebody where they pay them. So let's say somebody is doing something on the property, they go out, I'm just gonna throw out $50, I don't know what, so they go out and they get $50. I think a small portion goes to the city for them to handle the filing and stuff of it, and then the rest of it goes directly. And then if they go out again, they have to have follow-up on it, they get another $50. So I just wanted to know what they were doing in other towns.
Probably
And
not
then-
Rockford, I think they use Spokane County. So it'd probably be, I think Layton Waverly have their own.
Okay, well, I know you just said there's other towns that do it, so
Yeah.
you were gonna get those numbers
Yes.
for us to look at, so
I
we,
think Kevin's our building inspector.
what's that?
Kevin is right now.
Kevin's our.
Yeah, but when Kevin's gone, does somebody fill in for him?
It was Steve Axton.
Okay, but he's not around much now, is he, so are they both gone at the same time sometimes?
Usually not.
And is there somebody else that's in training, or is it just
We've
those?
got a couple of ideas.
Okay. Are they,
Your neighbor, Dave, Charlie. Oh, he's entertaining the thought.
and he's a licensed contractor, right?
Yeah, he's licensed contractor.
Yeah, I think I think
And he would be,
we would be really lucky to get him.
Why?
And we,
He's pretty good.
I think we should keep someone local instead of hiring out to Rosalia or something.
Yeah, well, I'm
In
not
case
even-
somebody wants.
I'm not even talking about, I'm just talking
Yeah,
about,
no.
and I'm just, and maybe not, I just think
But just.
a standard $500 a month. And maybe that's what it averages out to, but I just think that, some years there's a lot of building. After COVID, we had a ton of building, and they would have opportunity to make more. Other years, maybe it's slowed down, and it just seems like a good practice to pay people for what they're doing when they're doing it. And rather than just there's other things that we could make as a, a set amount each month. But I really would like us to consider going to paying them.
Well, we have a huge building project that's coming up, and I don't know, I don't know how that's gonna work, so,
I don't know what you're referring to.
I know.
Is it a secret?
Huh?
Is it a secret?
I don't know, I don't think so. Our building permits secrets, are they?
Public records.
So, so the care center is building on to their facility, and it is a really big project.
Oh,
So,
Is that why they're selling the apartments?
oh, I don't know. They already sold them.
They
didn't
sold them a long time ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That would be
they're-
money for the building inspector, then. We get our portion, and
Yeah.
if it's more than the building inspector, it would make more.
And I don't know if she already charged them for that at our normal rate, but I mean, it was a lot of money. Because,
Well, if they already have their permit, they already have their permits, but.
right, but they don't know when
going
they're
forward-
starting. Yeah,
But that would be going forward.
Yeah.
Um,
so.
Okay.
I think there'd be a lot of parts to
Okay.
that.
Well, can we still just
Yeah,
look
no,
at it
no,
and compare
no,
the
thank you,
numbers
yeah.
and maybe,
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to new business. We're gonna go to A, approve C, E, and C invoice.
So I gave you guys copies of those, I just have to have them approved for the, for PID and for the airport.
We approve them both with one motion.
Yep, that'll be fine.
I'll make a motion to, pay the CE and C, billing 891.89 and 37.45.
Been moved, do I hear a second? Second.
Who was that? Sorry?
Dan seconded. Any discussion?
just need a second to look them over here. So one is for 891 and one is for 3,745. And they were,
One's for sewer, one's for TB, TRB.
Isn't this the airport, or the sewer for the airport, right? It's for,
Oh, there's nothing left for the airport.
the, industrial park airport, yeah.
Okay.
so
Yeah.
who's C,
These are
is
both-
this Matt?
Yeah.
This is
second one.
Matt. This is
Mhm.
These both reimbursable.
We already got them in there, so we don't have to have them approved.
We've got them on. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Audit, ma'am, list of things to
I
change.
lost all my paperwork,
Sorry.
so I don't know where.
You know, I'm quicker than you are, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, these are items from the auditor that need to be corrected, that they asked to correct. Employees were paid accrued time at the end of the year. Our personnel policy says it will be paid out upon separation. Our policy does not state comp time can be cashed out at any other time. We would like to have it paid out at the end of the year. That's what they have been doing, but it was not in our policy. And, our personnel policy says that 80 hours can be carried over. Sorry. Typed it last night. So that's one of the items. The other one is unused sick leave cannot be paid out upon separation. Leave was not paid out, however, 100 hours of leave was donated. The city policy does not address if this is allowable or if there are caps or criteria that must be met to donate leave. Upon checking, it seems that if the employee has extra sick leave available, they can donate up to 40 hours to a person that has used all of their sick leave. And the auditor said that was fine, we just have to have a policy for it. That's what was happening for someone that was injured or that had a bad, that was, what? A stroke.
Can't work.
Yeah.
So let me, because those two are related. So going forward, I think those first two get addressed in the CBA for the union.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all those things are spelled out.
Okay.
But for you have a personnel policy
Right.
for the city clerk. So, I guess.
Oh, so I still go by the personnel policy, but nobody else does? Is that
Well, I
how it
think
works?
so. Isn't that, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not a member of the union.
Oh, okay.
This is, we
My
should
own
put,
personnel.
we could put Kim's personnel file.
Yeah. And the personnel.
So.
Or so-
Can you just state that those who are not union, employees who are not union?
In the
that were-
personnel policy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I mean,
both of these
just
are
that
already
whatever
set.
we, so we do need to still update that.
Okay,
I'm sure we will mirror similar things.
Okay.
But I'm just,
okay.
my understanding is we still have to have those
These were just
documents.
items she brought up.
Okay.
As the audit. Okay, and then the Tekoa Trailer Park has a base, this is kind of confusing, has a base water charge of $5.73. That is for, so what they did was they were billing them for 10 units at the $47.50 and then 6 units at $18, which is the, what do they call it?
RVs.
RV hookups.
No, it's the surcharge. So there wasn't a trailer there.
No.
So $18. So that was, ended up being $5.73. The surcharge is $1,053. 10 units at $81, 6 units at $40.50. So, but we went up there and counted. They currently have 12 trailers. That's trailers and campers. So it looked like they were charging them the same rate, no matter if they were a trailer or a camper. They were just parked at the site. So they currently have 12 trailers and campers on their property. The charge would be 12 units at $47.50 and 40 units at $18 for a charge of $642. Blah, 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 blah. So I would like to change the fee resolution at the September meeting if you guys agree to this. And then we can change the rate at the end of September for them. It wasn't correct. That was one of the items on the audit that were incorrect. And then we're also talking about, I started going through the fee resolution because you guys said you wanted to raise water and sewer both $3 at the beginning of January. So I started going through the fee resolution and changing things. There's a few other things that will need to be changed, so I'll be presenting that probably in October or November for you to look at before the new fee resolution starts for January. Got it? Nothing here this time?
Clear as mud, right?
Pardon?
Clear as mud, right?
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't change their dollar value much. It affects it one way or
It's a little bit more.
but
I
not
mean,
much.
yeah. And I called the lady today and talked to her on the phone and told her that we were looking at changes. She asked me to send her an email with this information and then what we're proposing, just so she has that, the lady that owns the trailer park.
She just pays what we send her
That's what she said.
That's nice.
Yeah,
until it
Go
goes way over. And then
yeah,
then we get a phone call.
yeah.
Okay?
Johnny still wants the trailer park.
No. Ruth, yeah, Von Puth. Von Puth, P-U-T-H.
I did not know that. That's something relatively recent, or that? Oh, wow. I know she's trying to sell
Well,
it.
since I was gone and came back, it's a different person, that's all I can tell you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
There you go. See, we can get more money anyway, between 10 and 12 anyway. I mean, they're paying us that anyway.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, is that we need to charge them for 12 trailers and campers instead of 10. We had 10 and 6 units that were not, areas that were not being.
Oh, so she doesn't,
Yeah.
So
She
we
does,
need to check it.
she does an accurate report every month what's happening.
She doesn't even know what her bill is, like when I call her, she's like, oh, I don't know how many.
Because there's people that show up on the 20th and leave on the 30th.
Okay.
You know, in the trailer court.
Okay.
So, you know, so those people are prorated by the day. So, I mean, it is so fluid, but she pays and we send her a bill, so this just standardizes it, helps it a little cleaner.
Okay.
What do we need to do, man?
Well, so I, have worked too much and I have more than, how much comp time.
Oh, we're done with
Is, oh, or
that.
that, oh, so do you wanna do anything on this?
Well, you just said you were
I was
bringing
just
the
gonna-
resolutions
yeah,
for that, right?
yeah.
Do we need to vote on that, or just, you
I
can
can
do that and then we'll vote?
Yeah. And then, so then for the other items, do you want me to put that just in the personnel policy and you can update the personnel policy at the next meeting? Okay, so I'll just do that. I just wanted to tell you what the changes were that she recommended.
Was there anything else about the audit that?
Do my thing?
Yeah.
Good. And, she did talk about, currently we have a 2-year audit and we talked about possibly changing it to a 3-year audit. That's totally up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
Did
It's
she
less
send
money.
you numbers?
Huh?
Did she send you numbers?
Oh,
But I can get that.
Yeah.
But, she did say that if we wanted to do a 3-year audit, it would be cheaper, but I'll get those numbers. I'll put that in here.
wouldn't that be better for you too? I mean, if we,
Either way, I mean, whatever you guys want to
It
do.
used to be 3 years at one point, and then it got 3 years.
Right, it was 3 years when I was here before.
Right, so I don't see what the problem would be, or.
Okay. And she, I mean, it was a good audit, so. But that was Eliza's stuff too. That
Well,
wasn't
this
my
was just
stuff.
for the accountability.
They take an inordinate amount of time to do these, get ready for an audit and to do an audit.
Yeah.
They just,
Yeah.
they just do.
And then to get all the stuff for them.
yeah.
And I think one thing that people may not realize is that, when they budgeted and gave us the projection, they told us it was gonna cost us $26,000 or in that ballpark for this current audit. Well, if I have this right, the state changed the threshold, so for, municipalities that come in under $3 million in their budget, they don't do the financial portion. They just did an accountability budget. So this came in at 13,000. So wasn't any less time for you to do, which will probably be addressed in the next item here. But that was good. That because we were looking at 26,000. Now that'll change when the sewer system or the sewer plant, when we're up and going, we'll be back to over a $3 million budget again. But that's what we used to do anyway, was the full financial. So enjoy it while we have that, right?
Now, quick question, it's on the trailer park thing, since you're talking about the audit. Can our people coming in for a weekend with an RV hookup for a few days? Is that a possibility for hers? If somebody needs to come in, they wanna.
You'd have to talk to her.
Right, so I know one time that was not, so that's not how it works, they wouldn't do that. You had to be longer than a couple, 3 days. So you wanna come for a weekend, have your RV hook it up there and place to stay.
Yeah, because there's no manager up there, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody on site, so that'd be, unless there's somebody that would handle that. So that might be a problem.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're probably right.
Get you a lawn chair and a sleeping bag.
Appreciate that. Then me there and you at the airport, I appreciate that.
We're gonna go see now.
So I just wanted to tell you, I have too many hours of comp time. I do not just have 80 hours like our policy says. I have 164 currently, but then you get time and a half for that. And so I would like to ask if I can have all next year use it, and I will be very careful to not get comp time anymore.
Yeah, but you had to put the comp time in because you had to fix a lot of things. And so, as a city council, we appreciate the work you do. And we agreed that there would be overtime while you were fixing this stuff. And so I say go ahead. You just do what you got to take off because you've done a lot of work and it was very stressful some days. And so we really appreciate it. Yeah. And so I really appreciate the work that you've done. And I think you should be awarded that.
Yeah, and I agree. We've talked earlier, we've had a lot of council people in there, and the mayor. We've talked to both of you about a number of issues, which ties up your time. It takes, hours sometimes, and plus all the things you've accomplished, which are not easy. And it was my impression when the county that you get a new person with authority person, even elected or appointed, they have anticipated they're gonna have some, and it's gonna take a lot of extra hour to get caught up on that new person. So I think what you've done is admirable. You had mentioned that you're gonna probably have some, I have no problem with that. It's gotta be done, either you do it on a long haul, and that'd be fine, and since there's an audit staring at you, you can't really do that. So I think you did a nice job, I appreciate it, I do.
Thank you. So I probably need a motion to be able to, go ahead,
I mean, I should know this.
you're fine.
You're leaving in September.
Yes, I'm leaving in
Yeah.
September, I'm taking vacation time,
Oh,
2
okay.
weeks vacation and 1 week comp.
Okay, I was gonna say, do we,
We'll hold your check till you get back, by the
Okay,
way.
go ahead.
your vacation, do you roll that over at the end of the year
So you can only carry a week over is what our
on vacation?
policy says, yes.
An 80 on.
That's what it says right now, so you guys can change that, but that is what the policy
Okay, I was just-
currently says.
You don't get comp time for your month gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would
except
be
for then
good.
I lose my vacation, unless you want me to take a lot of vacation when I'm trying to do a budget.
What's,
That's the only thing.
I just, correct me if I'm
He
wrong.
was just being nice.
Sorry.
Good
What
job.
she wants to do is we're only allowed to carry so many comp time hours.
Yeah,
She wants to extend that for another year.
yeah,
So
no.
that she has those hours to push
Yeah, no,
down.
just,
Yeah, we're gonna pay her now or pay her later, but she won't.
Well, I don't wanna get paid for it, I mean, I would rather
Sure.
use the comp time so it doesn't cost you guys any
So
money.
you're spreading it out over 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems reasonable.
So I'll make a
I guess I
motion.
need a
And,
motion.
Do
and
we
I
need a
just,
motion?
I just had a question
Okay.
before. So what were some of the projects that?
So when I came, I of course had to learn where everything was, what we were doing. I mean, that was when I had a lot of the hours at the very beginning. And then the audit, or preparing for the annual report, that done. But I didn't know any of the information, so I had to research all of it to be able to do it because, you know, it was not my work. And then, Dave, as the annual report got done, she's like, okay, let's start the audit. So we did that plus the public records request. We've had several of those, and that's just taken so many hours. That was part of it too. So I hope no one ever does a public records request again. And we'll be good. And I'm a green one.
Yeah, well, just come back from Korea.
Oh, yeah, I want to,
No
yeah.
staying over there.
Yeah.
So I'll motion that we, go ahead and approve extending, I don't know how to word this, in this current comp time into next year. Approved comp time, I don't, you word it however.
So just, how about the comp time, throughout, 2027?
And I'll second it.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, weed removal. So, right now we've got 3 properties that are, well, I'm gonna, that are in, yeah, that are in process. How's that?
Out of compliance. is-
Out of
There you go.
compliance, okay. It's an interesting thing because, I mean, when I talked to Eric this morning, there was some discussion as to whether we could actually go on somebody's property and do it. Looking at our ordinance, resolution ordinance,
I gave you a copy of that, did I?
yeah, probably not, it's probably sitting on your desk, not mine. But it says that we can do it,
We can.
we can.
But since our ordinance says that, is that legal?
I have to look at the ordinance.
I might be able to grab it.
It basically says go get them. Not quite, but there are steps to go through. You've got 10 days from this, 20 days from this, 5 days after this, and then you can actually go do it.
Like notifications.
Yes.
You're notified,
There's-
re-notified.
Yep, there's lots of steps, and, you know, these ordinances were all put into place when we had our own cops, and you could kind of enforce that stuff a little bit better. The ones that are not in compliance now are pretty distinct. Okay, they're way out there. You know, and I don't know what the answer is. I'm gonna meet with Mike City. He's working right now, but we're gonna get together, and I've got enough complaints from neighbors of nobody, not a lot of other people, but of these people that we need to be better at this.
Is that the word help gone for the year now?
No, they're not, but they're in and out. Okay, we lost Devlin now, and so we're getting at the end of that. So.
Yeah. No.
But, you know, there was some question. I mean, I remember when my son did it, you know, he got screamed at, yelled at, and
By
that was,
homeowner.
oh yeah, that wasn't just from Dwayne. So, but you know, I mean, that's you're putting a guy into putting a kid in a tough situation if they don't want it done. You know.
And you only got 3 of them now?
Well, yes, we're on the list. One
Pretty
is
good.
you know, they're out there. I'm not gonna tell you. If you wanna know, I'll talk to you afterwards, but.
Do they object to having it done?
Pardon?
Do these properties object to having somebody come in and help them?
We've not pushed that far yet. You know, and so now you go in there and you're actually creating a higher fire danger than you're solving at this point. You know, you send somebody in there with a weed eater and
Especially the metal weed.
you know, and you know what I mean? This is the challenge of the ordinance, is by the time it gets so bad that we go through all the steps, it's awful.
Well, I think that going through the steps of notifying is probably really the first steps you gotta go through.
Right.
Are these people here?
Most of them are not.
That's what,
Yeah, they're outside the area. So, you know, it's kind of like towing cars this morning. You know, we had to go get 2 cars and,
For the road work,
pardon?
because of the road work.
Yeah.
You had to remove.
So, you know, I mean, I don't, and, you know, and I had this conversation with my bride yesterday, and she goes, well, you mean, you just because it's this tall, it's not in violation. I go, no, it is, but then it gets this tall before the week is over and this tall. So yes, by the time all the cross gets, it is ugly looking. But ugly looking is not a rule.
Right.
It's got to actually create a.
And that's the sad part, because then you get people say, okay, you're on me for this, and I can show you city property that's pretty disgusting.
Or you get a property owner on the outside of town who's part of agriculture, and how do you deal with that?
Right.
Right? I mean, and so, we don't want to be a homeowner society, okay? But, I mean, I could create an argument that maybe everybody should have to keep their grass green.
And
That's a
HOA,
different thing.
Well, no, but
it's HOAs are like that.
But it could be a thing.
Well, I feel
So-
like we worked really hard on this 2 and 3 years ago, and we came up with real great wording, gave more time frames, more contact, and it seemed like the issues, once we sent Mike out to talk to them, before we sent a crew, or called them, I guess in some cases here, it seemed like it resolved 99.9% of the
Well,
issues.
the numbers are less than they were.
Yeah, because I think we have a good
Right.
policy.
Yeah, we've had some
And you sent
turnover.
out more than the 3, and these are just 3 that haven't.
These are the
applied.
3 that are left, right.
Does it ever involve like a direct conversation on the phone with people?
Mike does.
Just talk
Mike
about-
usually has.
So can you eliminate the process of mailing, remailing,
The
remailing?
owners that are here, we usually have a conversation.
Because it appears to me that it's to their benefit. If they're not able to do it, and the city's willing to do it, at a cost, it is for their benefit,
So if they refuse to pay, which can happen,
yeah.
okay, then now you go to a lien process, which costs us $303 to put a lien on,
And $303 to take it off.
and $303 to take it off.
And how much does it cost us to clean up the yard?
And we'll just ballpark it 100. Okay, so now you're into it for 600 and whatever, $700. And then we're holding it. And the only time we might recoup that is when we sell the property. Because we can't attach it to their utility bill. That was always gonna be the cool thing. But we can't do that. And there's been properties at the only time we've gotten paid back for utility bills, for lawns, for some of that stuff has been when the property sold.
Now you're saying that there's a double problem if it goes too long, and if you knock it down, then it's mulch for a worse fire hazard.
Yeah, because you know what it's like, you knock that weed down, there's no leaf structure. So now it is, even though you're removing the product,
All right,
it is brown.
it's all tinder, something
But the
happens.
problem is that some of those weed eaters that have knives on them, and they're made out of metal. And that's what they said that with Spokane, they didn't want the people to clean it up because those metals hit that rock and everything else, and boy, you just got rock right there.
Yeah, there's hazards to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make it clear, 2 of the 3 letters are out of town. One of them is in town. There's a serious health issue, so he's not been able to respond.
So what do you want from us?
I'm just explaining what
Just
the
letting
heck's
us
going
know
on.
that this is what's.
Because I've got some people that are pretty, upset. And granted, the city's got, I need to research this, but if I remember right, when earlier in my council days, there's some property over by you that's on the right-hand side of the road going up along Rural Park that the city bought. That's up on that hill.
Oh, yeah.
There's some property over,
Across the road from you.
yeah, that stuff's like chest high.
Oh, I
It's
know.
city property. Crap, what do we do? Right?
We look at it.
Well, you look at it.
We look at it.
Well, no,
Is it still hollow eye right now?
Oh, yes,
Not in all of it, it's just.
It's a bank.
Out of
It's-
control.
it's a
Out of
bank.
control.
But that's the problem, you're trying to tell me I gotta clean up my property, why don't you clean up the city property?
Yeah, you're right.
So you're.
Yeah, because I can tell you, but I can, and I go after my city people too.
Well, isn't that true of that hill behind the ball field? Isn't that city property? It comes up to that little park that's behind the swimming pool. And then that hill I know Pete's got some property up
No,
next
it's
to
not.
it, but isn't that some of that
School.
city
Don't
property?
know,
Is that a school?
don't know. I do know that at one point, we were not allowed to go down through there anymore.
We did own part of that and we did something with the school when I was here.
We gave it to them or sold it to
I
them for a
can't
buck.
remember why.
But we own the park part of it, that little hidden
Yeah.
park back.
Yeah, because it does have a sign that says city park.
Right, that's park, and I own about 100 feet of that along there, and that encompassed most of that trail. It just came down. Well, way back when they cleaned it up and it was fine, and I said, go ahead and use it. And then they started running lawnmowers and equipment and tractors up and down there to the school. And which was a little scary. Some people were running into the tractors and heavy equipment, walking, riding, going up and down there. So I went to the school and I said, considering what you're doing with use, if you would take responsibility for the liability of that trail, you know, you can use it for free. Well, they wanted no part of that. They said that was your problem. So,
Well, appreciate that, Pete.
yeah, so,
What do you got planned?
yeah, so I said, that's not gonna work out for me. You gotta take some responsibility. It's all your stuff. It's all free. No, we're not interested. It's all you. So I said, until we work this out, I think you can't run equipment down there.
I mean, I don't mind us being a big brother and leaning into people to get them to kind of adapt and help your neighbors out and stuff. But when you start sending people on the people's property, I think you're in a little bit of a different idea, right?
Yeah.
What does that say? Can I have that?
So this does have a procedure to follow for, it declares a public nuisance, but it's pretty specific. Talks about like noxious weeds, according to the Washington State Noxious Weed Control Board. It disallows trees, plants, shrubs, or vegetation to overhang public sidewalk or street, or to impair the free use of the public sidewalks or streets, or to maintain grass, weeds, shrubs, in such a manner as to constitute a fire hazard, a menace to public health, safety, or welfare. So that's kind of the key. So if it meets one of those definitions.
I would say that they all three meet the last one easily.
Certainly, and you know, and at some point you wonder, okay, maybe our best attack should be that we go after the properties that are consistently violators and say, ground it,
And say what?
we'll spray them. And you want to talk about stepping into the fire.
Asking for
Yeah, I mean, and so maybe goats, I don't know.
We did that at a church property in Tacoma once. It was great. It solved a lot of problems because we were up next to a restaurant and, you know, so, and everybody enjoyed coming and watching the goats. So it's not
It's not totally bizarre.
No, it's done. Yeah.
State kind of did away with it, because the guy that's on that road to Cheney and it's been
Yeah.
right there, and he had about 4,000 goats.
They spend more time running than they do eating.
But he lost a lot of contracts because basically what you're talking about.
Oh, he lost a lot of contracts this
Yeah, I
year.
don't know, yeah, he lost a lot of contracts, because the thing is the goats would go on other people's property and everything else.
Oh, you mean they don't just stay where you tell them to?
They don't put fences up to keep them in?
I thought about,
I haven't seen any out there at all this year.
I haven't been by there, I thought about doing it around the sewer treatment plant. Until I went out there and actually looked at it one time and I saw the big holes out there that we have things going like this in, and I'm going, I could just see fish and goat out of there. But, I mean, right? So,
No, but it's hilarious, because when I first got here, just before I got here, we had to fish a cow out all the reservoir.
well,
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
okay,
What about alleyways?
they're the owners to the middle of the alley.
Because I know
They're the property owners.
some of them are just really grown, and you couldn't get an ambulance back there if you had to. It's hard to get my truck through it, much less,
You know, we always talk to Donovan about fire department running through the alleys to tell us, you know, and then let them be the hammer to say, you know, we can't get emergency equipment through them. Well-
Not the modern ones, everything's bigger now.
so yeah, they're monsters.
I mean,
Roy, is there any credibility in when you see a property coming on, you know it's a problem. You send them a certified letter saying that your property's not in compliance with all these violations. We will clean your yard, on this date unless we hear your objection, and if we do, then we'll start taking legal action to resolve the
Well,
problem.
I think that has something in it, doesn't it?
Or this,
About-
yeah, this says the clerk will enforce the
Okay.
the ordinance. And then it says that, city council can pass a resolution requiring the property owner, to basically abate the nuisance, and the property owner, the property owner has to have 5 days, notice, and they can come in, of course, and argue that, or state their case to the council, and if the council decides it has to be abated, then, it allows the city to go ahead and basically abate the nuisance, which would be cleaning up the yards and mowing the yards, at the owner's expense. One thing I probably would, just reading it right now, there probably has to be more opportunities for the residents to appeal anything. So for example, like, and that's just the way it's so akin to if you give them a notice of their yard, they can, appeal it to the council, but then of course the council can hear it, and if the council disagrees, they would be able to appeal it to the Superior Court if they wanted to.
Oh, gosh.
So that's gotta be reworded.
It's just because they can make an argument that that this ordinance isn't giving them due process rights, and then you wouldn't be able to.
Eric, what's the year on that? Does it say when it was last updated?
This, I don't know the year on this, but the ordinance that's codified in this is dated 1978.
Because I know that we did some updating of that in
3 years
22 or
ago.
23. Mike, you
In
were
the code or what was it?
I don't remember. I remember when we
Was
did
it a
something.
resolution or ordinance? I looked.
But
I can't find one
we didn't
we had.
change this though.
No, we didn't
No,
change
but
that.
it seemed like we gave a little more time,
Yes.
for people to respond. For one, we meet every 10 days, so having 5 days, and then we were finding, I don't remember now what the number was, but 5 days, like, and then there's a weekend, so it just seemed like people needed a little more time to be able to respond before it went to the next level. And we did address that. It might be in meeting minutes if it's not, but we did pass something, a
Well, Nikki
resolution.
had something different and I couldn't find it and I called her and I couldn't get a hold of it. I just don't know what I could find, but, we did send letters out to them in June. I mean, they have had
Oh, yeah.
tons of time.
It's
And we haven't
tough.
done anything, but we need to have clarification of what we can and can't do legally. Because when I was here before, we would just go along and charge them. And it was never an
I
issue.
know. Mhm.
But then we've been told, I think, that we can't do that, right, Eric, that we should just go on people's lawns. So,
Yeah,
what do other cities do?
goats might get killed and,
I know some of them have a similar kind of, they have a similar abatement ordinance where there's this process that's built into them where like, it could be a clerk or a code enforcement, someone goes ahead and gives them a letter that says, hey, get your lawn mowed by such and such day, and then there's an appeals process they can take, and of course, if they don't show up or if nothing happens, then it's a done deal, and they can go ahead and mow, but you can either mow it or hire someone else to take care of it. Some of the things you can do, and an owner, you have to bill the owner, but then of course the owner's not gonna pay, then you're still,
At least then
it's
there won't be
still
a
a cost.
fire danger.
yeah.
well, okay,
But if the owner argues that's not a fire danger, it's like keep it water or whatever.
over the last
Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
over the last couple of years, there's been talk from some communities about tacking on a fee for vacant buildings. Would there be an avenue that we could, for vacant property, that we could tack on a fee that you tack onto a nuisance property? For
Just
instance,
that property?
Huh?
Just that property?
just the property. Say, for instance, this house has been in violation 4 years in a row. Okay, does that qualify as a nuisance property in our definition of what that is? And so there all of a sudden, because your house is vacant, because it's unkept, because the lawns are notoriously long, that you're gonna get an extra $50 a month assessed to your utility bill, in order to, so that we can maintain the fire protection.
So that's like a tax on tax.
Yes.
You'd have to find out if you can legally do that.
Well, they do that with abandoned buildings in towns,
And where?
in cities. You know, they've got, because they think it's a fire hazard to the surrounding buildings to have one vacant.
And they got that approved in court, law, whatever it may be.
Yeah, probably. I've never heard
There were
anything.
bigger cities that had this.
Yeah. Say if Anacortes or something like that. I don't know, I'm making up the number that it was, but there was a special, because a vacant building in the middle of a block creates, there's a certain risk,
Yeah.
insurance-wise, for the rest of the, I believe I'm right, for the rest of those buildings within that are connected.
So you people get into them, and they get fires into them, and they, indigent people get into these buildings for no other
Correct.
reason,
Well,
and burn the whole neighborhood down.
it's interesting because you got the old Pierce building up there. You know, there might be something for you to pull up and talk to other people about. I never heard that before.
Yeah,
It might be interesting.
and
to
you
find
might be able
out.
to get it on the same line as a corner block or as a abandoned house.
Well, you got Otto Tanner, that old house that's up there. I mean, that thing just sits in the weeds.
Right.
Yeah, so that might
Oh,
be.
there's weeds at that one, I haven't heard that.
And so those are
Particular.
things that, you put into it, and it throws a financial incentive for them to do something to them.
Something to look into.
So what do you recommend that we do about these 3 properties? Like send out another letter and say that you have 5 days to respond, and you can appeal to the council at the September meeting?
Well, I would, if you said Nikki has a different ordinance, I'd like to see that.
Well, that one said, you read
Yeah,
it,
it's not a lot different than.
It's not a lot different on that one.
No.
because
but,
I would say you update this ordinance.
or hers, I don't know what she had, but it was a little bit different than that. It seemed more updated than that.
Yeah, well, it was different paper, but it was said basically, yeah, it was
It
done
was
on,
typed different.
it was done on a printer
It was
versus a
typed-
typewriter,
it was-
okay?
Yeah, it wasn't a typewriter.
So can you bring it to us
But the
at next
language is
meeting?
pretty much the same.
Or to do it until you bring it to us, there's nothing we can do.
Well, so do they have to make a motion to send them something and then they can appeal it? And then we can have it at the September 8th meeting? And
Or I can
then-
just come up with because my advice, I think you should just beef up the appeals process and as to tighten it up a little bit more. And I can just provide that at the next meeting, the council can review it and pass it.
Okay, and I'll send you the other one from Nikki because it is a little bit different. So you guys want him to do that and then we can have an appeal process and then you can decide and then we can go forward from there?
But don't we think, should we contact those people one more time and try to get them
Oh,
to do
yeah.
something between now and then, because
We'll send them more stuff. See if we can get, I feel badly because one of the guys got some major health issues and we probably should try to figure out how to help him out.
But his son could maybe.
Well, there's some other avenues that we got there. I don't know, but
So financially, they can't afford that. I mean, even if they don't have the city do it at a probably a higher cost, contact, and I think that's what, probably how Corey got involved in it. You talk about somebody that's in town that would do the work for you for maybe less money. And if that person's willing to do it, I mean, Chris Taylor probably do it in a heartbeat.
And you could volunteer, to have people volunteer to go clean up their property, but then
Sure.
you're liable unless they, right?
Yeah, that's the
Unless they
other risk
approve
of
it.
doing that, yeah. If you get on there and you start cleaning it up and it starts a fire, damage, something like that, then that's,
So if you had them sign something to say that, yes, I will allow volunteers on my property to clean it up.
well, according to this, they're not allowing you, it's just that the town just do it to abate the nuisance. Obviously, if you had like an agreement with them, but even if you have an agreement with them, you have to be careful of gifting public funds by using city resources.
It wouldn't be city, I'm saying like, if everyone on the council just said, okay, we'll go and take
Let's
weed
go
whacker and
clean
clean
that
up
Just a
their
volunteer or
property.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that would be,
And we did that once,
I haven't heard enough
up
time
here
about it.
where Alex and Bill and I, a bunch of
Oh,
people, they contacted, they went up there and cleaned it
Oh,
up.
really?
Takes a long time to do it.
So it wasn't just.
See, Mark, you can't do it, darn it.
Well, I will, I can do something. I
You
can't,
can stand there and go, Charlie, go over there. Yeah.
I'll get my card out.
Eric, I would appreciate it if we put something together for us for a written policy, so we know where we're going and how we're gonna get there. We can continue on with these, with what we've been doing, but the other thing you're looking at too is if we start picking on these people, and we don't have anything in writing, they're gonna come back at us and say, you're being discriminatory against me. Because you have nothing in writing that says everybody in town has to abide by the same
you
rules.
do have this in writing. I'm not saying this is not valid at all. I'm
I
just saying-
understand that, but let's get something going so that we're all on the same sheet of music and somebody can't complain that we're picking on them because it only applies to them under our current policy for whatever reason. So let's put it in concrete and let's go forward.
So then if we did it, we'd just be for these three properties, but next year I think we need to start a little earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like the middle of April, is that when grass usually grows long, or May, beginning of May?
It
Depends
just,
on the
it
year.
just explodes the
It just
day
gets
fast.
worse.
This year we're moving, this year we're
That's
moving in
true.
April.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, but I'm saying, but next year we need to do it a little bit
So I
earlier.
say we'll
you know?
cross that
Yeah,
bridge.
okay.
Yeah, they're not in violation in April. They're
Yeah.
in violation at the 1st of June and
Yeah.
then it's over and gone.
I'm sure that-
Something kind of similar. Who's responsible for that tree that's across from the walking bridge down here? Was Adam Matthews kind of?
Adam cleaned it up.
There's some leaves on it.
It's not cleaned up.
Yeah,
I mean, he
It's
cleaned
mostly-
it.
a week ago, it's mostly, but it's a live now, I mean, who's responsible for that? Is that,
Well, as soon as the burn pile opens back up, you could probably haul it in there.
That's where we're at. We just can't haul it to the burn pile, so it just got pushed there.
You got a place up there we can put it at your place, Dan?
I've got a hell of a bird pile right now, so. No, mine's still small.
I was gonna send my guy up there to take a look at your burn pile. I understand, you know, I've been around and I've been out checking the roads that were going on today, and there's more than one little pile around out there that people have gathered. It's easy now. Okay. All right. Oh, public comments from the audience. Anybody got it? Anybody else?
Anybody?
Please. You've got 3 minutes. Keep it
Cool.
proper and not.
Okay,
Yes.
due to the various lawsuits been coming out, and it was not mentioned here tonight about the city cleanup, pesticides, herbicides, and desiccants, including steroids. You need to be aware of that, because if you guys enter into that contract on your own, that's a lawsuit from hell.
What are you saying? Say it again.
Herbicides, sterilants, desiccants.
You start
If you spray
sterilizing
somebody's
them.
property without their permission,
Chemical trespass, I believe they call it.
yeah, that's gonna be a big.
Yeah.
Okay, now onto the trees. There's a few things that haven't been addressed yet on the trees with the cemetery. That being soil recovery troughs, self-watering capturing systems, irrigation, smart basins, swale and berms, mulches, windbreak recovery, even recovery tree line, windbreak layering, wildlife microhabitats. None of those have been addressed yet. So. There you go.
You're right. Thank you. Anybody else got anything? Yes, Darlene? 3 minutes, ma'am? It'll start when you get there.
Sorry. Just a minute. I just have a question. Kenda talks about, working yesterday on things and stuff. Do you do that here or do you do it?
I do that at home.
So,
And so I called the auditor about it. Do
okay.
you want me to talk about, can I?
Yeah, because I just want to know, I have a concern about maybe our city laptop and stuff going out of here.
So I've done that for 28 years, and other cities do that. And so I called her about it, and she said that was fine.
What if you lose it?
It's all online. It's in the cloud.
Yeah,
It just bothers me that our city stuff is all out there that anybody could get a hold of. So
Okay.
that's my big concern right there.
Okay.
And with all the garbage going around and everything, somebody evil could get a hold of it and do our town in.
Well, thank you, John.
I bring my laptop home.
Okay, I'm gonna put mine at the end if we can. Staff reports, ma'am, what do you have, anything?
Oh,
No,
me?
yeah, get done typing first.
I have some right now. I guess I'll bring up next time.
Okay, Reed? You're a council member, you got a report?
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to break it to you suddenly. Kind of wanted to warm into it.
Yeah, you surprised me. How is it going with the fire department as far as being converted over to the county?
I just talked to Donovan before he came. I believe, I got one source that says it's been confirmed that it's passed.
Right, yeah, I never heard.
But Donovan's waiting. I think tomorrow is the next count. I think, that it's a pretty high percentage of passing. I think what they're looking for is to make sure we have the threshold of number. that
Yeah,
it
if I
takes to
remember correctly,
pass.
she said that it had to be official.
And I don't know what that number is.
Right.
It's a number that plays off in November a year ago, is what it is. So, and I was gonna go look that up, but I didn't.
seemed like the percent of yes was high.
Yeah, well, no,
Say
it's
again,
a
how
way,
much was that? Oh, we don't know.
The percentage, yeah.
yeah, we don't know what the percentage of voters are yet, so,
Oh,
okay, is that it?
Yes.
Okay, Mike?
Just doing some research on our police fees for the airport for the hangars. They're all over the place. For example, Port of Whitman, they charge 2% of whatever the value is per year and then divide that by 12. We charge like 0.015% per month. And on a 1,200 square foot hangar, that's just a couple of bucks of difference. So we're still right there where all the rest of the world is for charging, but we're doing it right.
Wow, that's pretty good. And the gas thing is working good.
Okay,
Selling fuel.
On fuel.
all right. I haven't been out to check it.
Maybe one of us.
Yeah, I probably should go out
Might be
there.
empty.
Before I see it, yeah.
yeah, it takes a while to get it too.
All right, Pete?
Couple of things. The bike safety and education program we talked about at the end of September, we were working on towards that. And then the gentleman that comes to Slippery Gulch that has the knowledge of bicycles, has all the equipment for the obstacle course, he was unfortunately tied up on that, able to help us in fall. And he's committed to Colfax throughout that time for that program. That's a program that not only teaches, it shows the kids all about bicycles, how to do bicycle maintenance, but also safety, and also how to handle your bicycle on the road. And then and plus they do some community service. It's a state program. If you officially go to that, and the state gives them a bicycle at the end, a decent bicycle. Now, our program is, we already have the bicycles, came donated from the school. Well, we plan on, what we were talking about doing in the spring. We hope to go to the schools and we're gonna discuss some of the issues we have and maybe even take a bicycle and kind of give them kind of reinforce what we're trying to say. The goal is maybe even do some work inside the building during the winter and then have the fall program come in the spring. And so we're working on that, and that would culminate maybe at Slippery Gulch. So we're still working on that. But so the program in September is going to postpone until spring, but we're working on that. We know there's a need for it because as the mayor knows, we've had other reports. We've had young kids on bicycles actually trying to force the trucks off the road. they're driving, one was saying, I think I grabbed coffee. There was a kid riding down the middle of the road and the trucker was hitting his horn and the kid had no idea that he was not supposed to be there. And he didn't get run over, but I probably just gave a trucker a heart attack. And that's hardly the only case. We have kids doing that. They just don't know the proper place to be in the road, and they're dangerous, and they lose if they get hit by a car. I tell my granddaughter all the time, they're not only going to see you, but if they hit you, you're not going to do much damage to their car.
I followed a girl the other day. She was going up the hill right here, up the middle of the road on that hill. And somebody coming over the top wouldn't have seen her in time, and she wouldn't have been able to respond. But she did that all the way through town, down the middle of the road.
I've seen that.
There's some young girl.
I've seen that.
The other thing too is all these motorized bicycles and small, what I used to call mini bikes or whatever, are just all over the place.
It used to be the limiting factor is the pedal power.
Yeah.
Now it's you just open it up and you go and yeah.
That's true. So we're working on that. We're excited about the program, and it will work, but we're going to have to back it off and then work with the schools and bring it on slowly and maximize it in the spring. But we know there's a need. We hope in the schools we can talk about safety, maybe explain to these kids with the board where they're supposed to be with their bike and a helmet will be handy, and you cannot ride down the middle. And if a car's coming, you got to get out of the way. You kind of like a sailboat in an ocean liner. I'm sorry, you might have the right of way, but you're not going to survive. So anyway, so that's that program. And then also, maybe you already know about this, that there's the road by the Wheatland Apartments weren't added into the program, and maybe that was supposed to be on the list as far as getting treated for the what they're doing on these other roads, and that apparently was not on the list, and that road is supposed to be on the list, apparently I was told. So I just said I would remind you if there's something that can be done. It's probably late to add that on, but apparently a lot of trucks go down that road, down through there from all the equipment, the truckers go down there, and so equipment. And so I'm not familiar with that particularly, but I was told that they had some complaint about it. I said I would bring it up in a meeting and see what can be done. I couldn't guarantee anything.
Which road's that?
Boulder from, if you look at the map up there, it's between.
Behind the Wheatland Apartments.
Right, behind Wheatland Apartments and
Oh, the Wheatland one.
That's all.
Alder,
Yeah.
and it goes, meets Howard and then over to Lake.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
You said apartments, for some reason I was thinking about out here at the care center.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Okay, no,
And so I said, well, if it was left off, I'm sure somebody could be aware of it, but it might be tough to do much about this year. So I'll leave that to the mayor to deal with that.
Okay.
I don't know much more than that.
I'll cover that.
I appreciate that. And let me see. And the other, I've heard there's a lot more braking coming down 27 into town, coming from the east, from the elevators. A lot of using air brakes. It really, I can hear it on my side of town. I don't even know what it's like. On
Like
the other-
coming from Oakville, or where are you talking?
coming from Idaho, that side.
you're not talking air brakes, you're talking Jakes.
No, not air brakes, day brakes, and really loud. And then we have a sign there saying that you're not supposed to do that. I don't know, didn't seem like it was the grade was that bad. They need to do that. But and I'm sure how you deal with it. It is and it happens not just during harvest, but I hear a lot. And it's not that loud for me. I can hear it inside my house sometimes. I can't even imagine what it's like if you're right on the road. So, I don't have I'm not sure if that can be rectified, if that
Do you have
should,
signs?
somebody should talk to me,
There's
Mr.
both
Meyer.
sides.
But the Jake brakes are loud.
Yep.
And the last thing is, do you know anything about the golf course clubhouse? Have you heard anything?
We're positioning to get a meeting with Avista.
Right.
Okay, and we'll find out where that's gonna play.
And you know, the port hasn't really,
Well, we need to find out what Avista is willing to do and then put the port around any conversations.
man, the only thing I've heard is from Mr. was they talked about a small amount, $5,000, as you know. And we were thinking the bid was substantially more than that. We were thinking way more than that. But
Gotta get started somewhere.
they were indicating to me when I talked to them that Mr. was, when I talked to him, I think Scott or Jason or whatever, he already does that.
Chris,
What?
Chris.
Was it Chris? Okay, that's been a while. That they were kind of waiting for the port to see where they were gonna do it before they would do very much, before they committed a lot. So they're all thinking that the port's the kingpin in all this. And they all have the copies of the bids. And, so, the port, I know they indicated to me that they're motivated to do stuff. Nothing formal, but they were looking for not looking, but they had money for projects. And so I said, well, we have a project. And I said, the mayor's working on it, he's kind of point man. So, you guys we're here and we hope to get a meeting and something going and, they've got interest in I know the golf course the board's interested. And so, but until the port sits down with everybody, as you know, and makes something, indicates that they're willing to put some bucks into it. The rest of them aren't I don't know if they're gonna come around, but
Okay.
so anyway, I hope that I'm not sure why everybody's dragging their feet. It's not the city is. We're all motivated.
Well, no, could be.
We're dragging.
It could be the same. Okay.
Thank you.
But I mean, making the pieces fit can be challenging at times.
True.
You know, this is a great vacation time for, it's not uncommon to go, yep, I'll be back in a week.
True, that's exactly right.
Okay.
I just don't want them to forget us and say, all that money we're talking about, that's all spent.
Yep.
We just built that grist mill down at Oakdale is taken care of and the clubhouse is gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
I get it, I get that.
Okay, Shelley?
So I met with Molly Karen out of the care center. We had missed a meeting early in the year, so just to touch base how things are going. They're interested in kind of continuing to hear from people in the community how things are going. So overall, things are going well, and I think everybody is well aware that Molly is the director out there now.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's been there for several months, and Madison doesn't come down too much anymore. Here and there he does, but so just a couple things that we talked about and covered is the hardest thing for them is overcoming past perceptions. I feel like since this has been 4 years ago now that we had the big community meeting, there were a lot of issues, a lot of things at the time that we dealt with. A lot of them began to be addressed pretty quickly. Took probably 2 years, I think, to really get a good wrap on everything that was going on. It's not 100% without issues. I mean, we've got people living next to each other in communities. We're gonna have problems, we're gonna have issues from now and then, but one of the things that I know it bothers me a little bit, and they certainly notice that if something comes up and somebody says something happened in town, so often the first responses you see, especially on the internet, is, well, that's probably somebody from the care center. Did you check? It's probably somebody from the care center. And of late, it has not been. So that they probably always are going to have to deal with that maybe a little bit because of the nature that they are basically a mental health facility. They have people there that are working through mental health issues. And I feel like they have, they're doing the best on their part. Do things get away from them once in a while? Yes. Do things happen? People end up where they shouldn't be once in a while? Yes. But overall, I feel like from where we were 4 years ago or so, when there was a lot of hot buttons over this, we've come a long ways. So, and they feel that too. One of the things that's really important to them, if there is an issue, people need to call and let them know. If they don't know about it, they can't address it. And for example, there was a situation, there was a person, he was newer in town, and he was one morning going around, he was looking in some windows, and he looked in the window of a business, and somebody was in there, scared them, and so they called the sheriff, and the sheriff came out, And then when they found out that it was actually sent from the care center, they called Molly and said, listen, really sorry. If I'd been thinking about it, I just didn't have enough coffee yet. I would have called you and, first, if I had thought about that. So in the future, that's what I'll do. So it was just a good reminder to Molly and to us to just remind people that if there's something going on, they want to continue to help and volunteer. They volunteered again with Slippery Gulch and did all the cleanup from the breakfast up at the high school. And if there's other things going on, they're happy if they're contacted, and make sure you let them know that you're expecting them to be there. That will be great. So that was the care center. And then two other things real quick. One is a new whistle for going to come back?
Yes.
Is it?
When?
Okay, but the plan is to bring it back.
Well, yeah, it's in his court, or at least the last thing I knew.
Yeah,
This is kind of
I stopped to see him one day, but I know he's gonna leave it, saying this is not the time
there's a
to
lot
ask
going
him.
on.
But I know we'll have to do a retraining with all the new people who moved in town since it's been gone, because it always.
You're
like,
allowed, yeah,
startles
there's
you.
probably people diving under couches. So.
Yeah, but it's a great part of explaining our farm history and everything, and I think it would be wonderful. I know when I'm in Oakstone and it goes off, it's just kind of fun. A lot of the towns do still have it. And then the last thing.
I talked with Donovan before at the meeting about that, and they were saying that the horn is on one building, but all, on our building, I think it was, but all the wiring going to it goes to another building. And they were wanting to charge an excessive amount of money because of that. And so that's the reason they did not fix it, and they were looking to put it maybe here and also another one up at the fire station itself. But they got to figure out how to do the wiring and communications and everything else in order to do that. But I don't know where he's at on it. That was just what he said during that meeting that I was there.
Okay. Yeah, he had shared something like that before, because there was a system he wanted to bring in, and then he found out it was super expensive to do. So he went to plan B or C or something along that. So, well, it's good to know he's still thinking about that, and that'd be wonderful to have that back. And then the last thing, when we, the other day when there was another fire over at Malden and near Rosa in between there, and I really got thinking, I know you brought this up and we talked, what is our procedure if we were suddenly to get in a level 1, level 2, or evacuation? And if we don't, maybe we should talk about that. We were going to send out a call to all the council members obviously level 3, we're all just leaving, but is there an expectation as for a town what we do and help people to evacuate? I mean, you've been to some of these meetings, and I don't know what a protocol would be in a small town. You're laughing at me, so I don't know.
No. I've had this question with the medical aid mayor, and she got up and was talking, and she said at one time, because the number's not submitted in my head, but she says we lost 47 houses in an area that did not have fire suppression, and then she just kept on going. And I'm just going, they didn't have fire suppression? So I went up and asked her 2 questions afterwards. I said, so what do you mean they didn't have fire suppression? There were no hydrants in that development.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that had to be an old development, that's illegal.
Well, I'm not exactly sure they were all her houses, but they were in the medical lake. They may have been down towards Silver Lake or whatever. And I drove it, and it was like a night. I mean, it's what they're doing with Spokane. And then I says, so when all hell breaks loose, who's in charge? She says, you are. So the
Everybody's like,
wait, you kept this a secret from me? So I talked to our Bill Tensfield, who's our emergency management person in Whitman County. And I says, we need to have a base program where at least we get some basics about what my responsibility is, and it's gonna be a coordination between me and the fire department. I mean, we're very lucky because we've got generators on all of our wells. Okay, we've got, so we will never lose fire protection like they did in Medical Lake. That was a big problem. I was reading about the latest fire incident in Spokane, and people were turning their sprinklers on their houses and leaving the properties. Well, it might be good idea for you, but what happens if the house goes up anyway? And now the sprinklers are just shooting water all over the place. And then that place over there can't get pressure out of their hydrant because everybody's draining their water. And that's what ended up. She said they spent their first part of their recovery time shutting off water into areas because the plastic pipes were all breaking. And water was just running out from underneath these dead structures. And they couldn't get enough water to go help the ones that were still there, still trying to protect.
So I'm thinking that just some basic things like that. I'm even thinking more of like just some things that we would communicate and maybe have out to people like, I mean, of course you can't predict things and you know, things happen really fast. You have the best plan and not have a chance to implement it. But like where we go to plumber, do people go depending on where do you go to, where do you go, where do you drive, on what roads, and you know, and just like, and where, first of all, where do we look for communication? Because I know Wendy put together that alert, and would that be, and like, I hate to admit, we're not signed up for it. We need to do that. We need to maybe keep that at the forefront when people move in or in the newsletter or when they sign up to get their water bill, whatever, to make sure that people are signing up for that. I would assume that would be our best way. And we can talk more about, I don't want to take a lot of time with this, but I think there should be a few things to do. And then like maybe talking within neighborhoods of people that would be responsible to go and make sure. We have a lot of people who are elderly and who maybe don't have a cell phone, aren't going to get an alert. And I don't know if you have to have a landline to get those alerts because most of us don't have.
No. That was one thing that was pointed out was at all costs maintain your cell service. You know, because that is the go-to now. You know, and I think, okay, we'd be fine until the fire went over the top of the mountain.
But I think if I remember right, from when I was here before, I think it did emails and cell phones and home
We
phones,
should,
if I remember correctly.
you know, and that brings up a good point. We should probably have a test run. Yep, and try to scare people, you know.
We have to
We'll
figure
put it
how to
out,
do
and, you know, in a bulletin or something, and
Right,
then.
and it'd be nice to experiment with it a couple times so you get a little bit of an idea.
But I do think there's some of those things we should talk about, that, because I mean, I was sitting there that day thinking like, well, surely we'll never have anything real close, thinking about Spokane, because we had family and people affected, there were people that had to come and evacuate to our house, and then next thing you know, then there's medical, not medical, Malden and Colfax again. So it just, you know, you're thinking it'll never happen to your communities, but, I just wonder if you have a lot of good information, if we could like have a few steps in place.
I have to figure out what it is again, and then I might look at the list, because we had a list of people that had signed up for it, and maybe put something in the newsletter, like you said, for people to give us their information so we can notify them if there was an emergency.
It should be a kind of an emergency response thing.
Yeah.
Then it's in the office, and then it's basically the mayor is always in charge, or somebody that speaks for the mayor. And then they just go about 1, 2, 3, right on down. Because the one thing he has to watch out for the water and the wastewater, and because that is a problem.
Yeah, maybe that's why we need to get the siren up and going, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to sign up for it, because I've been in Spokane at a doctor's office, and everybody's phone just went off, you know, about a fire. So I think it's if you're in this area and that signal gets put out, your phone will receive it.
Well, I think
Is
you
that
might
something
have
that
to
we have to
have
do?
that app on your phone though.
No.
You
No,
know,
I
know.
know, I get hit all the time.
Yeah, I get rid
Yeah,
of
I
stuff
get
after
it too.
Spokane.
We come up to Whitman County.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Whitman County would send those out.
Oh,
Okay, March?
Yeah, Wednesday, the vet clinic will be here at 9:00.
do they
And
have
I
all the
know
appointments full?
they've got, I called to see
Okay.
if people had checked in with them, and they've had, because I can't get in until like 11:40, so I'm assuming they've had, you know, response to it. And they'll stay as long as they need to, but they thought it'd be from 9 to 1 according. And then, also with the roads being done, what do we do for garbage day when they come through with the garbage trucks? I'm sure they're not gonna come up in my area.
So we have a plan, and they were just going to do Broadway first, and then the roads will be done at Broadway first. So the company will work, so the garbage company will go and pick up all the cans on Broadway first. And then they'll start working on Broadway, and then the garbage company should go to get the garbage at regular times. Does that not make sense?
No, because I'm not on Broadway.
No, I'm just saying, no.
You gotta take yours all the way down.
And that's what I was
Everybody
wondering,
else is
do I
fine.
need to take my garbage can?
No.
Well, the roads are all around me though. They're not gonna drive on there with the garbage
Yeah,
truck,
they
are they?
Yeah,
They are?
It'll be fine.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so we planned it that they would go to Broadway first, pick those up, and then the, company,
In
whatever.
Arrow.
Empire. Oh,
will go on Broadway first, so that would give everyone else a
So
chance
they
to
can
get
get
their
started,
garbage
Bill.
picked up.
They can
So I
get started.
can take my garbage
Just,
in and
yeah.
Yeah.
all
I was
you
willing
do
to do it.
Yeah.
And so, and third thing, I don't know how much you're gonna contribute to this as far as the area that Pete was talking about.
Mhm.
But I am thrilled to have the roads around my house paved. I mean, it is amazing. We've lived there for 26 years. And we get it from both directions and lots of traffic. Lived in town for about 50 years and always paid taxes, voted for every street levy. So now it's coming back to me a little bit. But I also felt like the council thought, as I did, the roads that were gravelled were the ones that are gonna be addressed. And even like if for the 1 year plan, the very first year plan, included my area up there, which is right here, Crosby. Yeah, so it's gonna go Crosby up
Roosevelt.
and then go, where's Alder? Yeah, Alder, right now, they're doing Alder, it's already done, but they're doing it again, and they're gonna come right here and stop. And that's gravel,
Right.
right there. And that was on our list for the first year, and maybe you have more information, Roy, I don't know. I can't walk, so I couldn't go up there and check it out today. But so all of that was gonna be done this year, and I think it is, going up past Les's and Kenny's and around. But they came here and they're gonna stop right there. And that's behind recent, Wheeland Apartments and another house.
I don't
And
know.
right away, those people were under the impression that that was gonna get done, and people had pretty much promised them that.
Right.
And now it does, I don't know, maybe Roy has an update, but the last I heard it wasn't gonna get done, and I just felt like, I really care about the people in our community that have been there waiting, just like I have, and it didn't happen.
Well, I see that Leslie isn't completely done either. So did they get a late start this morning? I'm not sure. They don't have to necessarily, they're gonna do
They
Leslie
weren't
one
gonna,
day.
they weren't gonna start from the pool
They're going to,
west
I
until
know that
tomorrow anyway.
Warner was gonna be tomorrow, they were telling me, right? On that deal. Leslie was today, Warner tomorrow, if they get done.
Leslie is Monday, Wednesday, Friday afternoon, is what it says,
Right.
shows. And it's between school and Park Road.
I think they're right on schedule.
Okay, for me, it's okay, but the tricky part is, you can drive on these once you're done, but I've seen some that people try to drive on them, and,
Well, you wanna keep your speed down.
well, yeah, keep them down below 60. I agree.
Yeah.
But they look good, the ones they've done. They use a smaller gravel, used to be this big stuff. And they would,
You've seen them now.
but no, what they've done, it looks okay.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I have one thing, I'd like to make a comment. I would really have it in minutes, however we want to do it, but I would personally like to thank Kenda for the work that she's done for the last 8 months. It's been hard. She's had to fix a lot of things and put up with a lot of rebuttal from things. And I would like to have them in minutes that I really appreciate the work that she's
Oh,
done.
so nice, thank you.
We all agree.
I agree with
Yes,
that.
we do.
All right, we're all ready.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
What's with the recycled bin again?
Not full.
Yeah. What, yeah.
Oh, I'll tell
Is
you.
it truck
So they
load?
told, the guy that came to empty it with the truck said, oh yeah, I'll be back next week. So we opened it up and everyone was excited about it. And then
It was
call,
full in one day.
we called them and they go, oh no, we're gonna fix the truck, so we're not doing anything until the truck gets fixed now.
Really?
And people filled it up again. I know.
Oh, so yeah, that's it. I'm talking about cardboard, which I got a lot of.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have brought it down because you're too late now.
Communication, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do with all that cardboard? I mean, is
We're gonna have a fire.
I feel better now that I'm talking about. Is there any break on when they have a pile of broken down cardboard? When they pick it up, is that charged?
I can't believe you're saying this with a straight face. I guess you really know what the answer is, right?
Exactly, no.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I know, I do have to think, is this guy crazy?
It's
or
worth
what?
a shot, right?
Yeah, look at this.
Maybe Garfield's got an opening. You guys got some room in yours?
It depends when you go.
Yeah.
Are we actually looking for another provider of?
Well, I think we're lucky to have these guys.
Okay.
So if we do it through, Empire Disposal, we have to pay them to empty it every time. I think it was $300 a time. This one is free, so that's good. And I heard that you can take your recycling to Plumber, and they will take any of your recycling that you have, so feel free to drive over.
They will?
You can get gas while you're there, it's cheaper.
Yeah, way cheaper.
Not much.
Yeah, I know, it's not, I know.
Let me know so I can come over and watch this. I want to be a little bird up
Because
this
it
one.
was wishful thinking.
It was down by the sewer, the old,
But you can take it over there?
yeah, that, JJ told me that, and Barnowski told us that, and somebody else, Bobby Barnowski and somebody else, yeah.
All right.
Huh.
Okay, Jake brakes. I'm just glad they're slowing down. If they're using Jake brakes, at least they're slowing down. These guys, they don't live here. They don't know. And as long as they're not, yeah, they always drive a little bit fast, but Darlene's probably got really good here.
It isn't a little bit fast.
I know.
I can't hardly get out of my driveway.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or
Right.
dissuade what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, I've seen them, yeah.
I'm just making a point, but it seems like there's more of it now.
I don't think we want to be that outfit that calls the cops and starts having them pull semis over.
No.
That gives you a really, and what you going back, you look like you're having
I will
nightmares.
say one thing, farmers have an extremely responsive legislative body. And if you start picking on a farmer, I'll guarantee you, your legislator's phone's gonna ring and it's gonna go away.
Okay, I was making some, tomorrow night, we've got family night out at the park, so make sure everybody, I suggest you guys all show up there and eat some free food, 7 to 9.
Okay.
So most of us, we ought to have our naps in by then, and we can rally, okay? I talked to Dan from Century West today, and was nice and said he will be here on the September meeting,
Did he say he'd be here, or he was just gonna send a report?
Yeah, the report will be done by September, whatever,
September
8th, is that what it is? Okay. Noon was day, okay, road work. So when the subject came up, when this thing came out, and we all got to see it, I got phone calls from concerned council members that they thought that was going to be included. I remember seeing March's list when it came in originally, talked about the gravel roads being paved.
Right.
I don't ever remember, and I could be wrong, and if I am, I apologize. I don't ever remember accepting this as the list. Because at that point, we already had a 6-year transportation plan. Okay, so that would have replaced several options on the 6-year transportation plan, okay? But we did our due diligence. We called Matt, asked him if there was any room in the plan for that. He called TIB. Once again, somebody's gone on vacation. But the guy that was in charge of the office, this would have been Friday, I believe, said he didn't hold out a lot of hope that this was gonna be included, could be included. Mostly, there was two reasons, and I think I forwarded that to you, Marge. There was two reasons. One, it's a gravel road. And the second one, it went to only 2 houses. And if you know what the grant policy says, it's a TIB grant, which is for maintenance of already paved, maintained roads. Okay, so, in Mass Defense, he offered to waive some of his fees, of his consulting fees, if that would have helped got it done. But in the end, they didn't think it would qualify. We're getting more done anyway than what they'd originally proposed because we're making it stretch farther. And so once again, these are maintenance. Now, we did a little research this afternoon. We've got basically about 10 grand in the streets budget. Street levy budget that we could use, which leaves us about 5 grand short.
I thought we were using that for sidewalks.
No,
40,000 of it, and there's
that's all,
still
yeah.
another 10,000.
Yeah, it's a 40 grand worth for the sidewalks. If there's 10 grand left, that leaves us about 5,000 short. Okay, doesn't mean we can't get it. We can juggle money, come out of the general fund, we can do different things to try to, that's up to the council.
Now you're talking about paving that one little section that she was just talking about?
More like it's a double chip seal type of thing is what they call it. It's not a pavement.
Okay.
Is
It's
it
just
the
that
whole
one
block though, or
section.
is it just half of the block?
It's the whole, it's from the corner from Howard.
To like,
Yeah, to Lake, it's just right here, right there. They're coming, they're right here, they're coming there, and it's like I said, it's already paved.
Okay.
You know, so it just,
So you say it's gonna be 15,000 just for that one block?
So my question too, Roy, is they always say, you know, when you start doing a road project, it costs you $10,000 to get all this stuff here.
That was gonna be part of my, in defense of this, I mean, we talked about this. In defense of this
Yeah,
happening, is there is a mobilization fee.
right.
And good Lord knows how quick it's gonna be before we get anybody back again. 'Cause they've been very good to us in the last 3 years.
Right.
Okay, so, I mean, it could be 4 or 5 years before we get somebody back. Okay, so that is in favor of what you're talking about. I'm not against it, it's not like I'm laid awake nights and figuring out how to make this thing work. But we also gotta come up with the numbers to make it, nobody's gotta come from somebody, and if we rob 5,000 out of the street fund, which is where it can come from, that shorts us heading into the winter. You know, we still got a long way to go, and if we get a snowy November or December, you know, it could be tapping us.
Well, 2 things, right? There's a
This
map.
isn't my decision, by the way.
No, I'm talking about the map there, you know, that shows all this work they're doing. And why can't you just subtract a little section of all that work just to do that one street?
We'll get your section.
Mine's being done, and mine's gravel. You said, you know, that you don't do this because of gravel. Well, mine is gravel, and there's a lot of gravel that's being done there. And this is just one, and you said 2 residences, Wheatland Apartments,
No, it's paved at the Wheatlands.
not very far out.
Right. Till you get
the
to
next
I'm
block,
talking
That's
about,
the next one.
because this includes them,
Mhm.
this whole block, so it's not very far out.
Mhm.
So you say 2 people, all those people live there. That's,
are you done?
no.
So I was just gonna tell the council though, that, I mean, the reality is, it's up to you, so there is 50,000 in the street levy fund. We did say that we would use 40,000 to put to the TIB grant. We won't get that grant till next year. We won't even know whether we get the grant till November. if you want to take the whole 15,000 out of the street levy fund, that's totally up to you guys, whatever you want to do. And then if we have to come up with an extra 5,000 next year, if we don't get our levy, if it doesn't go through, we can move money, pay for part of that grant from the street fund if they approve it. I'm just telling you some options. It's totally up to you guys what you
Well,
want.
go say, Matt, we're gonna cough up, this much, how much can you cough?
No, he
I
said,
know.
he
I
said
know.
he would, and they said they would
They
do it.
would let him do it.
Yes, right? Yeah.
So just take it out of the state, 'cause we did promise that, we've been fighting that.
No, I never promised.
Huh?
I never promised.
No, but I do think we approved that list as
Yeah.
our.
We did.
But that is the
Yeah.
the only thing is, this whole list, the only part that's being done is this pink part.
I know.
Right.
That's why for the
So there's
first year,
other
I think at
Oh, so
least
there's
that
no-
would be done.
There's other gravels that aren't being done. And I just personality, I would, if I was gonna pave some, I would think that Seaman Road would be up.
They don't want it paved.
I'm not sure I've heard that.
I want concrete so it'll last longer.
No, they don't want it paved. It floods.
The problem with Seaman Road, Roy, is the base and the water levels down there. You could put all
Oh,
the
yeah.
chip seal down in one, in a year or 2 years, it's gone.
Okay, but that's just, you wanna talk, we've got in this map, we've got 2 sections that are not getting, actually 3, 4, that are not getting paved.
Yeah.
Okay, that were gravel. So it's not just, we're
I'm
not
just
just
saying,
leaving,
you're up
we're not
there
just
in my
leaving out
area.
that, we're just not leaving out that one.
Oh, I know, but you're there. And you went as far as that, you stopped right dead.
No,
center.
I didn't.
Not you, but they did. They stopped right there.
If you wanna throw somebody under the bus, throw me.
Okay,
All right, throw me
crawl
under
under
the
there.
Okay, blame me because I don't ever remember approving that this was going in as, no,
Why did I do the work then?
well, because we do a lot of work that doesn't necessarily,
Well, that was why I brought it for them to approve, and it was approved.
If we have the funds, will they do it?
oh, yeah.
But we have to let them know by first thing in the morning. is
Yeah,
what
in
I was
fact-
told.
in
Or
fact,
Matt
we
said,
told
give them
Matt
a
we-
text tonight.
We shoot it to him tonight.
So we've got to come up with another, what do we need to do?
15, it's like 14 and some dollars, so we said 15.
It's 15 grand.
But it's a well-used road. There's a lot of people that use that. And I think
How
we
many
should
people
do
use that?
Well, the big issue is Pape uses it as a back entrance
Oh.
to their property, so you've
Which
got
is
the
another
trucks
thing.
and I don't know if they're supposed to be doing that or not, but they do it, and that's the biggest issue.
Okay,
is-
so there's part of the concern about whether the double chip seal, which was what they would use, would hold up to the truck traffic. Or
So we
whether
could
it,
close that.
whether it tear it up.
Trucks.
Close the road.
Well, don't they drive through a field to get that?
Yeah, they do. They've got their path right through
Don't
there.
give me, I'm just saying,
I'm not
that
giving
might
anybody
have.
But you
an
can
option.
close the road. You're right.
That'd be the
Don't
best
let that
way to do it.
jeopardize their opportunity to get to work there.
But then what about the people on the backs, because that goes all the way around, right? Because
Yeah.
there's,
But it's almost like a dirt path that goes around
aren't
all
there
the way
two
around.
ones? I've been
There's
up there for a
three.
really long time.
They're on North Lake.
And then you go around Lisa Byron's, hers isn't done.
When the highway got closed, when we had to redo the culvert, that was the bypass.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they routed them through on that road, so it'd be a little tough to close that. I
You
mean,
could close it to truck traffic for the most part, couldn't you? I'm just saying.
It's,
what he said, don't take off the farm.
Well, that's Cafe, that's
You know,
not
the
farmers.
solution to
Is that
this
the
is,
farmers?
if the council wants it paved, we need to tell them by tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That means we need to approve the funding tonight.
Come up
which
with the
means we
money.
have to allow the comments back into our agenda. Do we want to do that? If do it, let's do it.
Let's do it and then Kendall will figure it out.
Well, no, you need to tell me where you want me to take
Yeah.
it from. So if you want me to take it all from the street levy money, we could do that. Then we'd only have 35,000 in there. And then, but if it passes next year, we'd only need 5,000 more if we don't have a pass next year from our street.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to do it because we did approve of getting that done.
Well, let's make it an additional agenda item. Let's vote on it and be done with it.
I agree.
So do I go back into like just a regular
Well,
up
we have to
here?
come out of the comments section.
Okay.
Yeah, all right,
Okay.
I was trying to think if I had any more. Okay, that's it.
It's closed.
So we're out of public
So do we
comments.
adjourn out of that? I don't know how that works.
Literally, doesn't mean it.
We're gonna go right now, accept the motion to add an item to the agenda, which is the appropriation of money for the Elder Street.
I'll make the motion, I'll just fill it on.
Okay, so you wanted us to come up with the money. Where's the money gonna come from? Where's the money gonna come from?
Street levy.
Does somebody have to second the motion to come
Yeah,
back out of
just-
it?
yeah. I'm just
Okay.
finding
I
out.
didn't second it.
I'm just finding out what his motion is. All right.
So his
So it's
motion
been
is to
supported.
put it on the agenda.
So why do we, so somebody
We're putting it on the agenda to start with.
made a motion to
Put it on the
add
agenda.
Springs, or what's it called?
Alder.
Alder Street.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to put it on the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Dan, you're against? Okay. Motion passes 6-1. All right.
You said no?
Yep.
Okay.
So we're back on the agenda. Now, what's your pleasure?
Are you gonna make a motion to pay that and spend the money out of the?
Yes, I'll make a motion at least spend 35,000 on street levy.
No,
No, 14.
I want this really.
14 and change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
this,
total isn't the total 35?
no, we
No,
have
15.
50 in there and we only need 15.
Right, that's the
Somebody else
total.
want to make the motion?
I'll
Yeah,
second
I'll
it.
take the total,
I'll second it.
So 15,000 out of the street levy fund.
15,000.
It's been moved and March 2nd. Any more discussion?
I just want to make sure then, so then when we look at our next 6-year plan, those rest of those properties will be moved up and put on there for the next time that we
We'll certainly look at them.
want to make sure we don't.
So we have a list already that you guys approved at the end of June. So I can show you that list. I don't have it right.
I've said this to you before, I'll just say, in the 5 years I've been here, I feel like every year we get that list and it's different every year.
So you guys moved the street, the paving up, or the sidewalk on Main up to the top of the list, and the rest of the list stayed the same. I swear I didn't change anything. But I would be happy to show, okay,
Because I know we have all those sidewalks now.
Yeah.
But will those roads come back on, will be
if
sidewalks
you
and
want them
roads?
to next year, we won't be applying for a grant until after we do the 6-year temperature improvement plan next year, so that would not be an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. We have a motion on the floor to move $15,000 from the street. Yeah.
From the street levy fund.
So the street levy fund to do the project on Alder Street. Moved and seconded. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Reed and Dan, motion passes 5-2. Okay, all right. Okay, at this point, I'll accept the motion to approve the bills.
I'll make a
I'll make a
that we-
motion to pay the bills.
Oh, very good, way to step up.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
I did, Shelley seconded first.
Oh,
Too bad.
wait a minute.
Okay, any discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, at this point, we're gonna go to executive session for approximately, we're gonna come out at, yeah, 8:25, okay? Oh, yeah, we're going for a legal situation, litigation. How's that? Sorry, thank you. Little bird by ear.
Seconded that, Osmus? Said, second motion.
Yes, yes. Okay, we'll be out at 8:25. We need to have like games here.
Do you want me to go in our?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I know. Better than I was. It looks nice, doesn't it?
school. There's how we go there, it goes up every day. And it's just breaded. I don't know if we would really consider.
We'll talk about that on the list.
But you have to remember how this all came about. This 3-year growth was just she promised these people that they're going to do it, even though that's not the grant didn't cover that money. So they're spending 15 grand.
Well, grant money is specific.
Yeah,
You can't just use it or borrow from it.
right, right.
You got to do it again. Fell on deaf ears. Not a single person.
You're not wrong.
Not
You're
a,
not wrong.
not a single person said it. 20 years ago, I was promised something.
They're butting up against a HUD clause. They're getting very close to it. Nobody said anything about it, but the lawyers do. So if you start maintaining people's property with or without their permission, that automatically falls under HUD regulations. Then they can be held liable. That's why I brought up the chemicals. If they spray chemicals on private property, they can be held 100% liable, no matter the size of the damage. I don't care if it's desiccants, herbicides, whatever. Technically speaking, if you want to be technical about it, with what the Supreme Court and RFK said last month, even spraying mosquitoes, the city can be held liable. But nobody's going to get trapped in mosquitoes. No, mosquito season is over.
It is. Am I wrong? She should not be the city laptop. I said, "Mom." She asked the auditor for $100 and said that they said it was okay.
Here's the key point, that she was specifically taking it outside of the US border.
And she finds it.
Now, that's a whole different kind of worms. Now, I'm pretty sure that they said, yeah, you can take it home in continental United States. That's one thing. Once you take it out of the country, that's a totally different thing.
Or is she intending to take it?
South Korea.
Oh. So the
Information is to
passwords.
one of the worst
It's in
groups
the,
of
it's in the
people
cloud.
for spying on, oh,
That's the other thing too.
Would you guys, I really, it's real concern.
The passwords and
They just
the
look
threads,
like real.
the passwords and the threads belong to the computer that go to the cloud. Once you have those threads and passwords, doesn't matter who it is, they can get access to our
that's
information.
exactly right.
We can get access to the cloud from anywhere.
Yes, all they have to have,
You just have to have basically passwords.
you don't even have to have passwords. All you have to have is a thread.
I know what she was thinking. One Monday she was like, we were put back up to her, because she got the computer. I don't know what this is. The door was open last night. It used to be the police office.
Oh, is that right?
And now it's Kathy's.
section for the cemetery.
Now, I brought this up to the council several times. We need a way to attract the cops to come up here. Let's put a coffee maker in there and leave them access for the sheriff's department. Because you know as well as I,
Cemetery.
you know as well as I, if a cop knows there's a coffee maker here, regardless of what he tells his boss, he's gonna have someplace to go to get coffee. And he'll end up spending more time up here. And it only costs us a few bucks a month, but still.
At one time, the next week. So it's like,
Right now, we can't afford it. We don't have, we don't even know we have money to have a coffee.
how could we have so many years ago?
Costs of a coffee.
Well, that and benefits that are required now, that's the big driver.
Benefits and
In
training.
any employment right now, more than wages.
To give you an example, an experienced cop that we don't have to retain or put through the academy, the minimum pay is $120,000 a year. $120,000 for a cop. That doesn't include equipment, car, or anything else. That's just one qualified cop. If, this is a big if we can get one to come down here. But to give you an example, like Spokane Valley there, first year cops are getting $132,000. Spokane can't keep cops, and they're still paying them $140,000.
That's the whole thing here, we would put them through the academy.
And then they
go
leave.
somewhere else.
Oh, that's
What
aviation.
this
Yes.
lady,
Yes.
We trained a whole bunch of
Ron
Boeing.
Anderson, he was a cop here.
Yeah.
And, we, we guys hear me?
In fact, when I,
But anyway, I would, we had somebody that was, you know, threatening to like, you know, so they got called him. He goes out and back there, it's from the village. He keeps the house, we're in the bay. And then when we, you know, everything was clear, when we went out the back door, he jumps out of the bridge, the keeper's office. And that's what he's doing, and he's waiting for the guy to come out.
Well,
And we're still paying him.
to be honest with you, Mike and I and a bunch of other people sat down and figured out how much of that effectively cost. We would have to,
We have to still.
we
pay
as a
it.
city would have to come up with $570,000 in the first year to have a cop here. And we can only guarantee 1 year.
and you can only,
But how often do we get with the county here?
Oh, they have to serve a minimum of 20 hours every month,
Oh,
every week,
we have
20
to
hours per
20
week.
hours a week.
I'm paying $160,000.
Oh,
For
a lot of times they're sitting right over here.
They spend a lot of time at our troubled locations. So when the cops come up here, to answer a call up here, they'll stay up here a couple hours, even though they've cleared that situation.
Takes them that long to get here.
That's kind of what they think. Well, since we're already up here, you might as well spend a couple hours here. So generally speaking, Friday and Saturdays, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, when we see the cops the most. Because they're answering domestics.
Sometimes they're
Harassing.
sitting across from Kane's there and nabbing people as they come to town.
They love that one.
Well, I wish they do it now with these trucks.
It's hardest.
They're afraid they'll get run over, or they couldn't catch the truck, one or the other. Horrible. Really, 25 miles an hour, and if I'm out in the yard, I go. And some of them will look at me, some of them will step on the gas a little more. But it's scary,
Well-
With her across the street with those poor little kids.
6 months ago, Matthew mentioned that you can get a dozen call drops on from Amazon for $10.
Yeah.
Matthew,
Alex.
Alex.
Yes, but they might end up in your yard.
Yeah.
We put up some little signs that, please slow down, children and animals, that didn't go down very good. I think that just is a challenge.
And it is fun.
I was closing the store the other day, a big semi, truck, grain truck, two trailer. The guy came up in a car and he stopped at that stop sign. On the corner of Toga and outside, right? And that truck he did a wide turn, but his tail, this car had to back down and move away, because they almost sideswiped him. I'll bet you guys can hear when the trucks go past. Because there's that little divot in the road. Yeah. And they hit that with their trailers and it just rattles my whole house. I bet you guys can hear it over a tree place, but it's horrible at my place. Sounds like helicopters and something. And they're driving day and night, I heard at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's working, this was really fun. And they're fast and loud down at Main Street too. There's a cruise on that street. Anyway, you'll have to come to the national night out. Tomorrow night at the park. Yeah, so it's kind of a nice place, a nice thing to do. Get to meet more people. So, yeah, me too.
It's where?
Down at the park, right over here. Okay. Yeah. From 7 to 9. 3 hamburgers and hot dogs.
Ooh, free food.
Yeah, definitely.
Why didn't he start with that?
Free food. That's 7 o'clock.
Unless you come out with something on the back to
The park.
3 hamburgers and hot dogs.
And salads, they usually have salads, and I think a dessert and different things too, so. And the ambulance will be down there at the ambulance crew.
What time does that start?
7. Right over there at that little park.
Sounds great.
I think I'll walk across the railroad bridge from this side to get there. That's where I fell and broke my leg.
I know, that's why
That's why I said that. Oh, my kids, I was like, you will never walk across there again. I was, well, I didn't make them cross that day either. Oh, gosh. Had a good time at coffee this morning.
Yeah.
You should invite Sheila to go on.
Yes.
Every other Monday morning we go to Toga's for coffee. There's her,
Sit
me,
around and chit
Joyce,
chat for a bit.
and Lisa from church, the one that has the Victorian home. Right next to the church. Yeah.
That's fine.
fun.
Very relaxing and very
We sat there
informative.
for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's long than we usually do.
Yeah, not
It's
usually
kinda
that
nice.
long, but it was very nice.
Everybody just buys their own coffee and sit there and visit. And the nice little girls. So you're invited to come. It's 2 weeks from now. I should have invited you to come today.
Remind me to. When you remind her, you can, she always reminds me. She knows I can't.
What happens if
remember
I don't remember?
But we know you will.
Oh,
You're the responsible one. Heavens, I have never caught up with my calendar or my brain. My brain and my calendar have not been in sync since we moved. Nor have many other things.
Now that piece of property on road on Howard, I thought that's in front of Pat's house. And it's horrible. This path, you don't know Pat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's right in front of her house. And it's
Oh.
awful. And the rains we have, it just causes ruts down there and everything. But it's only like a 2 block, or maybe 1.5 blocks or something, and so it's probably, and we're not a council member, so I can't do it. Who's Pandora York? Bandera York. $652.
Why did Pandora York?
It's a name.
Oh, payroll, okay.
I don't have a clue who that is. I didn't know we had so many people on the payroll. I know. I thought it was just these guys. Not so, huh? Where's the name? Wonder what that's for.
So who is Pandora York?
I don't know, there's a lot of names on there, I don't know. Is this Syria? They do the parks, they own the parks and stuff. Look at Bandura York, yes, they get a lot of money. It says
That is
payroll.
Armando.
Yeah, but he does a lot of money. And maintenance and stuff, they do the cemetery too. No one afternoon service charge for this, what's the deal?
It's 20, you gotta adjust. I do.
You do your labor and labor. Wait till then.
Come in, go move the hand on the phone.
When I was coaching, girls wanted to know what time practice got over, and I told them 1/4 one time, and they go, "What's 1/4?"
That's true, that's true.
It was just, it messed up the mind. Okay, let the record reflect, we came out of executive session exactly 8:25. We're resuming the regular city council meeting at this point. Is there any other business in front of the body at this point? Council recognizes Mike. What do you want to say?
Well, let's give it my best shot. I will make a motion for the council to approve Amy, as it's Arnada, I apologize for mispronouncing the names, claim through AWC for $30,000 to settle all parts of the claim, and Does it have to be a separate motion then that we would reimburse AWC for
It's in part of the
15?
same motion to approve the settlement she signed and to reimburse the AWC for 15.
She has already signed the settlement agreement on July 26th
July
and,
30th.
July 30th.
or July 30th, whatever it is. And we need to approve that so we can go forward.
Good, great, thanks, Mike.
We need to say that we're paying, reimbursing AWC for $15,000. You said that, okay. Okay, sorry.
Is there a second?
I'll take that.
Dan seconded.
Yeah, got it.
I got that.
Dan. Okay, so because of the impact of this motion, I'm gonna, if there's no other discussion, I'm gonna poll the audience. It's not that late, but it's getting there. I'm gonna poll the council members, okay? Mr. Martin?
Yes.
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 Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna abstain.
I think you've got to have a reason, but I'm not certain. But,
Eric, do I have any reason to abstain?
Did you abstain? It's not,
but,
it's not majority.
okay, motion passes 6 and 1 abstention.
Mhm.
Okay? So motion passes. Is there any more discussion at this point? If not, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I make the motion we adjourn.
Second.
1 second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And you're leaving your,
Yeah,
financial
policy and all of that.
Leave this
Both, you want both financial and all that?
Gotta leave.
Oh,
I can get that. You can touch it. You want it, we want it, yeah.
You want to take those or you want me to take?